Next up, we have Dalton.
Hi, my name is Dalton Shee. I'm a senior. I go to Cerritos. And my journey with God started when I was really small. I always said that I was a Christian because I'd go to church here and there, but I always thought that I never had time for God because I'd play baseball a lot on the weekends, and I'd always make a lot of excuses. And yeah, I just didn't know who Jesus was. I was maybe like a fan of him, but I never really understood what he really did. I didn't really understand the purpose of him really coming here on this earth and serving for us. So that's why, like, as I got older, like growing into my teens, and then also like COVID, where I couldn't go out, like God was just completely out of the picture, and I never even had like a thought about God or anything about religion. I was really just focused on myself and what I wanted. And for those things would be mainly baseball and school. So those were like the main things that all I'd think about, and I felt like that was really selfish. But around sophomore year, which is like a year and a half ago, I was just laying in my bed in my room, and I was just scrolling on Instagram like for like hours. It was bad. But I started getting these videos about God, and it wasn't even about Jesus in specific. It was just whether God existed based on, the creation of of the world. So, and that just made me really curious about like who God is and where I'm gonna be when I die. So then that really led me to do a lot of like research on who God is and like which religion is right, because there's so many religions out there and so many different types of gods. So when I did my research, it also kind of convicted me to come to youth, because I always knew about this church. I'd come here when I was young a few times, so I always knew it was there. So I just really felt convicted to come. And when I first came, the reason I came was not really because I wanted to seek Jesus and seek his love. It was really just out of curiosity of who is God. And the reason why I was just curious and not like thinking that I need Jesus is because I always put my identity and my value in these worldly things, which for me was baseball and school. So that's really all I thought my identity was in. So if I was succeeding in these things, let's say I hit the ball really hard that day, threw the ball really hard, or got some A's on some tests, I'd be really happy. And so that's where my mindset was coming into church. But when the first time I came here, it was just a really good time. I had a great time here, and that's what really led me to come back, just the fellowship, because of the games that we play and the people that were here. But it wasn't until maybe a few months in, there was a prayer night where usually after worship, everyone would just spread out and lights are dimmed, and you just pray or relax or do whatever you want. And Ben walked up to me and just was asking me how I was doing. And I just felt like I could open up to him because of how nice he was, and I didn't even know who he was. And I just started opening up to him about some problems that I had during that week, which weren't even big, crazy problems, just something that frustrated me. And he gave me some advice, but what really stuck to me from that conversation was a prayer that he prayed, because I never really knew what prayer was. I would just bow my head, close my eyes, and think about things that I want to think about. So when he really prayed, he prayed about just seeking God's knowledge, seeking God's vision when I'm trying to handle these certain situations, and just really being humble enough to ask for God's help. And when he said that to me, it really stuck with me. And I honestly, while he was praying, I started crying. And I didn't know why I was crying. I was like, this is not even a big deal. I don't know what's going on. But now that I think about it from a year and a half later, it really was God encountering me and making me humble enough to accept that I really do need God's help in no matter what situation I'm in. So I feel like that moment right there really catalyzed my relationship with God and really helped me start growing my faith. And that's when I really started to have a desire to come to church. And it was not just because of the fellowship or just because I want to hang out with some friends or whatever. It was mainly because I wanted to learn more about God. And when we had that, when I had that encounter, I just really I wanted to learn more about God, and that's when I asked Ben to do a Bible study. And when we started doing that, I really started getting closer and closer to God with all my small group, and that's when God really revealed to me the sins that I was doing, because I always put my value and identity in baseball and school, and I was really successful in those things. So I thought that I was a great kid because I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do drugs, and I was really successful. So I thought, why do I even need God? I already have everything that I need. So there's really no point in me seeking for God's love. But God really revealed the pride and the selfishness with that mindset that you have, because with my identity in these worldly things that I thought was important to me, it led me to judge a lot of people, because especially like when I walk around school, I wouldn't really say it out loud, but I really had a lot of internal judgment, and my heart was not in the right place, because I'd always look at somebody and not want to associate with them. Oh, because you're not that smart, you don't get A's, you're not that smart, or you're on JV, I don't want to talk to you, right? So it's like, just that kind of mindset. I never really said that out loud because my parents taught me well to be humble, but in my heart, I still had those evil desires. And it was just, God really made me realize to make a change. And so when I really sat down, and this was more recent, maybe past 6 months, when I really thought about God and what has God really done for me. He's loved me, and He's paid for all of my sins and has saved me, even though I've been doing all these things so wrong, and I've been distant from God for all these years. And when I really realized that love, it made me want to love those people as well. Those people who I think are not deserving of my love because I'm so much better than them. But no, I should love them just as much, and I should see them as God sees His children, and I should seek His knowledge. And that just really changed my life. And another big thing besides pride was anger, because since I would base my identity on these things that are worldly and are very relative, because there might be a day that I fail a test, there might be a day where I lose the game for the team, then I get really mad because my identity is in that. That affects my ego. And with that being said, I would project that anger onto other people who are not deserving of that. And I feel like that really ruined some relationships that I had with some friends, and also kind of split. That created a lot of tension in my family as well. But we're a really close family, and we all love each other, but it just created more tension that we usually had, especially that now I was in high school, and I really thought that I knew it all, right? So, but yeah, when I really accepted that God loved me, like all these things changed, because before, my parents would yell at me if I disrespect them, or I would try to stop sinning on my own. But those were just Band-Aids on things that are never gonna actually stop coming back, because my heart wasn't changed. I was just temporarily covering it up. But when I really accepted Jesus, it really changed my heart and the root cause of all my evilness and desires. And now that's why I feel like I have this eternal peace that I've never felt before, that all these, even my friends, family's love, the success that I may get, in school or field. Those things just feel good for the moment, but then I would say, all right, what's next? I need something else to fulfill my happiness. But with Jesus, His love, He never changes. So my love also never changes as well. And I have this eternal peace that even if there is a bad day that I have, or even a really good day, I'm still so grateful and thankful that I have an opportunity to show Jesus' love and to show what Jesus has done for me. So I feel like now I can confidently say that I've for sure changed, where I want to love everybody, no matter who they are, and just represent Jesus for what He's done for me. So, and then lastly, I just want to thank God for encountering me in this way, and I never expected, I never even wanted. But He still came to me, even though I thought I was like basically my own God, that I don't need Him. I can do whatever I want to make myself happy. And He's also provided me such a great support system, such as my family, because they're always so loving, and they let me hang out here on Friday and Wednesday nights till like 1 a.m., but they never get mad. and they always let me worship God however long or however many times I want to. And then also the people, my small group, they're really encouraging me, and they help keep me accountable in my faith. And then also Ariel and Eric, because they always answer my questions for when we have small groups. When we have the Bible studies, they always answer the questions for us, and that really helped me grow my relationship with God. And then lastly, I really want to thank Ben, because I don't think I would have encountered Jesus without you. God is really using you in great ways. I wasn't even expecting you to come by my side and give me that conversation and really spark that relationship that I had. So just thank you for sacrificing all this time. And I just want to thank everybody here and just show God's love. So thank you.
Oh man, I remember the first time you came to youth. We were sitting in that corner, and it was probably the first time we had all 10 of us in the group, and that was the most hectic, craziest group experience I've ever had. Because we were supposed to have ministry time, and we did not talk about anything of value. But man, it's crazy to look back on those times, and even for me, there were times where I was like, what am I doing? But to see that now you're getting baptized, and Cam's getting baptized, and Nathan's getting baptized, and Sugar got baptized last year. To see how God has moved in all of your guys' lives through maybe the Bible study, maybe just even youth group, maybe just being in fellowship with each other, that is just such a huge testament to who God is and what he's been doing. And I mean it, man, it's been such a joy to watch. Our conversations, you even coming up to me and asking to start a Bible study, that's something I never would have expected. And nonetheless, seeing it come as far as it has now, to where we went through Romans, we went through John, we went through 1 Corinthians for a little bit, to where you guys understand, you know God, and you're seeking more. That wasn't just a one-time thing. This is just the first of the fire. It's just gonna keep going, man. And I'm so excited to watch. Even though I won't be here to see it completely, man, it is gonna be just amazing to see the fruit of all of that. So I'm excited.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Thank you.
Dalton, it has been such a joy to see how much you've honestly grown. And one of the things that I really loved about your testimony is because of your unrelentless pursuit of knowledge, but also of who God is in your life. And I feel like it paints a really beautiful picture of how it looks like for God to pursue us. And so with that being said, I have one important question to ask you. Dalton, have you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior?
Yes, I have.
Well, by the declaration and profession of your faith, I now baptize you in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.